Joining me live in the studio is John Grimes. He's the CEO of the Smart Energy Council. This policy from Peter Dutton, he is saying that it's nuclear, but to support renewables is how he puts it, to firm up renewables. Are you encouraged by that, the message that renewables, large-scale renewables, will still have a big part of his vision as well if he wins the next election?
Well, what he's not going into detail is that this is actually a plan for coal. Because what he's saying is that we need to keep coal in the system until the nuclear comes online. Now, the coal fleet in Australia is absolutely clapped out, falling apart. And so nobody's investing in new coal. It was built in the 1960s because there's no return on investment, right? Coal is done. What this would mean is the Commonwealth actually acquiring those coal generators, investing in them, keeping them online so that there's space for the nuclear to come in and replace.
When you look at renewables, though, one of the problem is that, and this is what Peter Dutton's been arguing for a long time, is that you can't have renewables only because it can't firm itself up. You need other capacity around that.
Let's talk about that. The state of Tasmania is entirely powered on renewable energy. Actually, the ACT, 100% renewable energy, day, night, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. In South Australia, there are times of the year where there's so much rooftop solar alone that the entire South Australian economy powered on rooftop solar alone. You know, in the national grid today, we have 40% renewables. Renewables plus batteries for the short term and long-term energy storage. That's the pumped hydro projects that we're building, Snowy 2.0 and others, that give you that ability to actually power the whole economy 365 days a year. So
but you need backup, don't you?
Well, the backup is the batteries, right? The backup is the batteries. Now, gas today is playing a role, but that'll be a much smaller role in the future. That'll be an emergency genset that runs, for a few hours a year, not something that's playing.
So you reject the notion. You reject the notion that renewables only is a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely. This is a concoction of the opposition, and they're.
But where in the world has that? Just one.
Oh, there's Costa Rica. For example, 100% renewables, right? There are plenty of examples globally, and here in Australia, right? Has the ACT economy stopped? Has the Tasmanian economy stopped? Does South Australia suffer? In fact, they've got those three jurisdictions, the cheapest electricity pricing in the nation, and that's because renewables produce the cheapest form of electricity.
But they do have the backup, don't they?
Well,
if the renewables fall short, they can.
And nationally, we're building that. So the really good news is that not only are we 40% of the way there, we're rapidly increasing, and by having a planned transition, we can build all of the assets, the pumped hydro storage, to give us reliable 24-hour renewable power, much cheaper, much quicker, much faster than this plan from the opposition.
But when you say that, like South Australia, for example, can run on just renewables, or Tassie, they still have access to the national energy market and other supplies of not just renewable energy.
And we're not saying that they shouldn't, and there will be a mix. And for example, that backup gas does play a role, right? But that gas will play a much diminished role into the future, as it should, because it is eye-wateringly expensive and it's polluting to the environment.
But is it enough to sustain a manufacturing sector?
Oh, absolutely. So not only that, but we can now use renewable energy to do processing of iron ore. So those big giant furnaces, the really hot furnaces that can't turn off, being electrified and powered with renewable energy. You see, Kieran, an electron is an electron whether it comes from a coal-fired power station or from a solar or wind farm. It's exactly the same electron. So if you build enough, you plan for it, you can totally power your whole
Are you worried about the impact on investments in large-scale renewables off the back of this announcement? Will it hurt it?
We had Mr Littleproud calling for a cap on renewables, right? Actually saying that they would stop the advance of renewable energy. This plan for nuclear basically sends a chill through the investment community. In fact, Kieran, I would say that this is renewable energy investment vandalism, because from the sidelines, they are creating the uncertainty about the opportunity and driving up the cost of capital.
So there'll be less dollars going in.
Less dollars and more expensive dollars, the ones you can get. And then we all pay because we're going to be paying higher power bills.
So are you saying that there will be less large-scale renewables because of this announcement?
So it's a chilling effect, right? So what I'm saying is that the cost of capital has already gone up. And so there is an impact already from this uncertainty. And so that will be passed on to the whole system.
CEO of the Smart Energy Council, John Grimes, appreciate it.
Great.
We'll talk to you soon.